Hey, Joshua, my man. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate you having me on the show. Excited for
Beautiful.
today's conversation.
Yeah, my man, beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. And you see, Joshua, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Joshua, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invested in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. They say some couple of months back, excuse me, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Joshua, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Joshua, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely moment and experience that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Joshua that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, how you are offering your solutions. These stuffs are amazing. And just before I sent you the request, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Joshua is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Joshua. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Really appreciate that. Just made me smile. I don't know if anybody has really explained it that way, and I don't even think I give myself credit for it, really. But yeah, really appreciate that.
Beautiful,
Uh,
beautiful. Thank you too. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Joshua, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, my man, ever since I realized that light in the Hebrew language means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Joshua on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, my man, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, my man, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Joshua, let's get started with your introduction. Yeah, talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Joshua got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Joshua, my man, over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Elisha. Well, I would say that my journey obviously begins in my hometown. I grew up in Alaska from immigrant parents. They started a restaurant that was successful for a couple years, and then some things happened and it ended up not being so successful, and we never recovered from that. So I would say for a majority of my life, I grew up um, sort of in the lower income bracket. I think I was just reflecting back on a scholarship award that I had won and remember seeing my parents' tax statements for the first time. Excuse me. This is in USD, but I just remember seeing really low numbers, and it just shocked me. And looking back at that now, I am blessed to say that I regularly earn 10 times the amount that my parents did now. And but I had to go through a lot of growth, and it's not just physical growth and the growth of age, but it's really a growth in understanding who you are, who you were, who you grew up to be based on your parents, because so much of what you learn is caught, not taught. You learn this in parenting. I have two young kids. And so I would say my life now in my 30s is unlearning the things that I learned as a child unconsciously. And that is really hard work. And I think I did this, even when I was in high school, going through college, and in my 20s too, but it's more of a conscious choice now. I'm doing it because I have to do it for my kids, but I would say I am on a leadership journey, and I think everybody is on a leadership journey as well. In terms of my career, I studied entrepreneurship, finance, and I had the chance to work for a angel investment group for the first couple years and invested in over 100 different startups, over $80 million in the first 2 years. And that really was a blessing and a curse because it opened me up to so many different business ideas and opportunities. I really couldn't decide what I wanted to do. Fast forward, I now own a boutique Amazon agency in Seattle. And what we do is we help manufacturers expand and grow their Amazon channel to really protect their brand, but also to unlock a new revenue stream for them that is supplementary to their retail business and their wholesale customers, their B2B customers. And so I've been working on that for 4 years, and we have a small team in Seattle, and this is my 8th year doing Amazon related work. So um, honestly, I would
Nice.
say God, yeah, I mean, God led me down this path of work, and I've just been faithful to Him, and it's really not something that I necessarily plan, but it's working, and so really excited to share more details on any of my learnings there, why this company is different compared to all my past failures, because I've got a bunch of different failures as well. Um, but, I think one thing that you mentioned in regards to your mango tree analogy is, what you saw when you first walk by is a dilapidated, ugly tree. And I think a lot of times that is what you see on a Monday through Friday for most people. I think that's like 300 days out of the year, possibly more. That's what it feels like. But then there should be days in the year where you're glowing. And I think the point of it is you constantly need to be pruning and improving yourself. Um, because if you don't do that, if you don't understand the nature of growth and really learning to enjoy the process of being pruned, it's not gonna life is not gonna be very fun. So,
That's so true,
yeah.
my man. Profound
Anyways,
words. I love that. I love that. So I'm still curious, all right. This particular business, oh boy, that's a great solution you're offering, and I love it. So how has the journey been so far? I believe challenges are so inevitable. How have you been able to overcome the challenges and all?
I would say there is a huge difference between knowledge and the application in doing it. Knowledge is never the issue. To your point, there's tons of content out there. There's tons of books out there. There's tons of people who have done it that are telling you what to do. The gap is putting these together and doing it yourself. And that's a whole nother arena. Unless you do it, you don't actually know it. It's like you can learn everything there is to know about building a house. You can learn the process for how to frame up a house, how to roof, how to plumb. And then you can have your friend who did it tell you how they did it. But you will never actually learn and understand until you do it. And I think that is a huge lack in today's society and something that I have been doing in this business for the last 4 years. And really, it's just trial and error, trying new things, failing, trying new things and failing. So it's been pretty hard, but this year particularly, I've had the chance to just find things that worked through some guidance and putting in the hard work. And just super excited about the company at this point.
Amazing, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let us talk about your faith. How has your faith shaped your leadership? Got it?
I would say faith is instrumental in leadership. There are so many challenges, personal, professional, that I've come across, right? I've mentioned I have two young kids, and my personal life has been very challenging. And it seems that sometimes personal life's challenging, business life is challenging, even some relationships that you've had, they all stack together. But if you if I didn't have faith in God, faith in I'm a follower of Jesus, and if I didn't have faith in God and a relationship with Jesus, I don't know if I would be as far along as I have been, because there's a lot of times where you feel like it's too much, and the only thing you can do is to give up and surrender. And that is something that I'm still getting comfortable with. I don't do it well all the time, but that's kind of a state of mind, not a surrendered or a weak state, because we're men, and that's a thing where it's like, hey, you don't want to like surrender and be weak, but it's not like that. It's giving control to someone who is greater than you, and submitting your plans and your life trajectory to somebody who is powerful and cares about you more than you actually care about yourself.
So true, my man, and that's the way, I tell you. Not total surrender. You see, I used to have things, pass through my mind and get confused and, until I understood this simple truth. The part where Jesus said that the kingdom of God is for those who are like kids. And when I started studying some of the attributes of children, I realized that they have this full dependency on their parents. So what he was saying is those ones who totally depend on him, you know, those are the ones that will enjoy all that the kingdom has to offer. Then I had to shift my perspective. I wouldn't try to
Absolutely.
figure things out myself anymore. I just rely on the spirit to lead me and tell me what to do and how to go about it. And that way it has
Absolutely.
been stress
I'll,
free.
I'll tell a quick
Okay, so
story.
there's this
I
one
went
I'm
through
also curious
something
about. Why should
very
we pay
challenging
attention to
last year,
boomer
and
owned
I really
businesses?
had to put my faith in God. And it was something that tested my faith quite a bit. But I can say, going through that a year later, right? It was such a hard season that I had to really believe day in and day out. It was a day to day battle. And I would say that for me, that was when I look back, that is something I can share and just say that I'm glad he was with me. Did I get cut out or did you get cut out?
I get caught up, but
Oh,
I'm
you got
back.
cut out?
I got caught up.
Gotcha. Should I repeat what I said?
No, 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 no worries, no worries. I got it. Okay, so let's look at this one too. So, what eating value do these brands, do these brands hold? Got it?
Yeah, so you're asking what hidden value the brands hold?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean by hidden value?
Okay, like the boomer owned businesses. What are maybe some values, stuff that are not really obvious to the public, or some very important things that we should know about them that could, like the profits, or for folks who
Hmm.
like to learn more about it, stuff like that. You get it?
Absolutely. Yeah, we really like working with legacy brand owners, typically owned by boomers, that have a couple characteristics. They're made in the US and they support the US market, which means that they're supporting their local cities, they're providing jobs, they're paying taxes, and they're lifting up the local economy from that standpoint. Really like that part. Second part is really like pro- companies that are producing a great quality and useful product. There's a lot of products out there that aren't useful to the world and are just widgets and trinkets. And in our opinion, we believe the world's resources could be stewarded better. So that's what we look for. The third thing is leadership, and that's really understanding the owner's heart for what he wants after he passes the business on. It's the legacy that we are sometimes honored to preserve. And that is an exciting opportunity for us to continue on a company and a leader's vision for why he created the company in the first place. And a lot of times, what we look for in that leader is a people first leader, not a profits first. So we, there needs to be alignment from that standpoint, long term alignment. Um, I'm not going to say all of our clients are that way, but I would say we're most excited and where we want to move more into is working with companies that align and value people over profits.
Mm. And
So
that side should be. You wanted to say something before I cut you.
this is the best way that we can support our mission and vision for stewarding and putting my skills and my team and our company's efforts into building a, a better culture for the future and for the future of my kids and for others' kids. It's a small way to contribute back to that by selecting who we choose to support and grow online, because online is where the battle's at now in terms of which products you get to choose, which products you get to buy. We want to support companies that are doing good to the people and to the planet, and not supporting companies that aren't doing that. And so, as we grow and as we develop a bigger team and we expand, that's going to be an even more important mission and vision for us to lock in on.
And that's a beautiful one, I tell you. It's amazing what you're doing. Great solution. I love it. So we have just one more question to go. All right. So what advice do you have for new dads who are building something big?
That's a great question. There's a couple of ways that I would slice it. I would look at it into three different sections. The first is your faith component, your intimacy with God, your relationship with Jesus Christ. That needs to be number one, and it needs to be not just something you do as a routine, but your whole heart's gotta be in it and in reliance of it. Second portion is and getting direction from him. The second portion is making sure that your needs are being filled. So every person has a limited amount of emotional capacity. And a lot of times as guys, dads, if you didn't come up from a home that was good with emotions, you're not going to understand what you feel and how you feel half the time. So you have to understand to recognize your emotions and make sure you have outlets to continually fill that so that you have abundance for your family. So an example, something that I've developed, I've been running for a year, probably 5 or 6 days a week. Now I run anywhere from 5 to 6 miles a day. And it's because running helps me get the endorphins that I need really to feel good and accomplished. And that helps me and that regulates my emotional state. I prioritize sleep a little bit more now. So those are two critical things, like working out and sleep. Like those are very easy things that you can do. But getting what you need, right? Quiet time, identifying those things that are really non-negotiables for yourself. Like these are things you have to do. They're not just like to do's, but they need to become have to do's. The third thing I would say is maintaining and continuing to build a relationship with your wife. And that is super, super important because you really don't have a lot of margin. If you have young kids or busy kids, you don't have a lot of time to connect with your wife. So you have to create space to do that. And that's something that I'm getting better at. We have a weekly date night that we do. You know, we connect on the weekends, but it's really still not enough. So creating some regular times where you can connect and honestly praying with each other will be critical. Like getting on your knees and praying together is huge.
Very, very huge. Hmm. Profound words, very practical, and you made it quite easy to understand. I love that. I love that. I'm taking that as a final thought, my man. So, for folks who like to reach out to you, learn more about all we've said, learn more about the beautiful stuff you're doing, or want to open your services, how can that be possible?
So you can find me on Instagram at one Joshua Lee, ONE Joshua Lee. And if anybody's interested in starting an Amazon storefront, launching on Amazon for the first time, if you DM me, Elisha, I'll send you a retail readiness checklist. It's a document that we use internally where we just go through and we have a checklist of things that we jot down and we have before we launch for our clients. Happy to send that to you as well.
Beautiful, my man. That's a great one. So that's going to be the end of the show, Joshua. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this awesome stuff with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Really appreciate